Hello, you're welcome back to Project Management Demystified. Right, so I think we're still in our interview series, and I think this is episode 18, if I'm not mistaken. Right, and in this episode, and I think in the next episode as well, we'll be covering something similar. And I want to speak on feedback, giving feedback. So maybe we'll speak about giving feedback in this episode, and in the next episode, we'll speak about receiving feedback. It's easier to give feedback. We think it's easier to give feedback, but I think it might be more difficult to accept feedback. So let's talk about giving feedback. So Michael, tell me about a time that you have given feedback. How did you approach this? So in giving feedback, and the way I'm explaining my responses, I'm trying to focus on the thinking behind it so you can form your own form your own responses, original, own your story responses, your own stories. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So how you give feedback. I know some will say there's positive and there's negative feedback. I just believe feedback is feedback. Feedback is feedback. People either take it or they don't, and it's most times it's just an opinion. It's our opinion and of how things should be. So I would usually word it more like what could be done differently, not what must be done. So it depends on the dynamic. So if it's someone, so if I'm a project manager, or if I'm a business analyst or a senior project manager, senior business analyst, and I have somebody that reports directly to me, and I have done something over and over and over again, and it's worked for me, then I can suggest it to them. It will be a suggestion. So it won't just be that that's how they must do the thing. So we need to kind of be careful not to force our opinion on people. So people could do things differently and then get better outcome compared to how we do our own thing. But again, that's open to challenge, is open to interpretation, because I might think that the way I'm doing it is the best, but my boss might think that the way he or she is doing this is the better way. So that's different. So those are some of the things to consider. But there are some specifics that can be done, like being factual. So what happened? What was there an evidence? You can share things like the effect it had on you. So what effect did that situation have on me? And maybe what the person can change or continue. Was the feedback a spontaneous one, or did you have to put meeting in inviting? That could be nerve-wracking sometimes, because when someone tells you, oh, I want to give you feedback and puts meeting in, that could make one nervous. Have I done something wrong? So considering all this would give the interviewers a clear picture that you have a lot of thinking. You put a lot of thinking into giving feedback. So make sure you have the evidence. So someone sit down and say, oh, you did really well in that call that we had, or in that session that we had, or in the workshop that we had. So what did the person do well? So I liked the way you made sure everyone was inclusive. You made everyone contribute, even when some people might seem to want to take over the conversation. You kind of brought it back and focused on the topic. So that is specific, rather than just, oh, the session, you did really well in the session. What aspect did I do well? And sometimes it might help to also ask the person their thoughts or opinions on how things went, because sometimes I could have done something to the best of my ability, and on reflection I could see that there are better ways that I could do it. So I'm already thinking of the ways to improve what I've just done. And so I can, so that's a coaching technique. So coach will bring out the best in you by asking questions and making you think and reflect. So a lot of the things that we really want to do, the great things, they are within us, and coaches can help us bring those out. So team managers, line managers too can serve as coaches and help us bring out the best in ourselves. All right, so giving feedback, thinking about the events that happened, suggesting things that can either change or continue, being factual, staying positive. Staying positive is a really good one. And just remember again, it is just your opinion. And what it needs to be like, how you can do things differently next time is a really good way to let the person choose for themselves what they want to do differently or better next time. I think I've rambled on a bit there. I'll leave it there for today, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Bye-bye.